Oh, so I'm back after a long time. But I am going to start up again, and I'm going to do like videos every single Friday, probably every single Friday when school starts up again, which for most people it starts up tomorrow. But since I said I was going to be doing videos this summer, I wanted to do this video today, and it's on hearing from God. So if you feel like, why am I not hearing from God? And why isn't He talking to me? And it feels like He's not even listening to me. It feels like He's not listening to me when I say, Lord, help me, why aren't you talking to me? And it feels like He's not talking to me. It feels like He's just not there. And then you go as far to say, well, if He's not listening and He's not talking, is He even real? Does He even exist? So if that's you, you should listen to this today. And it's not going to be long. I just wanted to read you a couple notes I made on an entry from Faith to Faith, which is a devotional by Kenneth and Gloria Copeland. And it's really good. It's changed my life. And Kenneth and Gloria Copeland themselves, their teachings have changed my life. The Southwest Believers Convention that I've talked about, that really changed my life. Like last year, that completely changed my life. And I went to it this year. Oh my goodness, it's so good. You should go. If you, next year, it's free. You should go. It will change your life, I promise. And that is if you want it to change your life. And so I was reading Gloria wrote it Gloria wrote it on August 9th. And it's called Possess God's Rest. At first, I was like, well, everybody needs rest and everybody needs to be less stressed out, so this is going to be good, but I didn't realize how personal it was going to be and how much it was going to seem like she was talking to me. So, I'm not going to read you the 13 pages of notes I made. I'm just going to read you maybe 1, 2 pages, 3 pages. So, just to help you if you feel like you can't hear from God, or it just feels like He's just not there, and you ask for help and He's just not answering, and you ask Him to talk to you and He just won't talk to you, and you feel like you want Him to talk to you but He just won't, and you're wondering why, and you want to hear from them, you should watch this. I'm about to read it to you. So I'm going to start with a Bible verse, Hebrews 4:7 NLT. It says this: Today, when you hear His voice, don't harden your hearts. So that's a big thing. Today, when you hear His voice, don't harden your hearts. This is what I had to say about that. We often think God is not talking to us, but it's only because we've hardened our hearts to what He has to say. It's not because He's not talking. He's always talking. It's because we're not listening. It's often because we don't want to hear what He has to say because it's too uncomfortable. So we harden our hearts and pretend it's not there. As much as we may want Him to say something else at times, God doesn't change His mind, and He knows what's good for us and what we'll be happy doing, even if we don't think so and it doesn't feel comfortable. If it feels comfortable, possible, and or easy, you may want to reconsider. This is why we need faith. This is why we need to believe. This is why we need to obey. If we don't, we're going the opposite direction. And then I made a note right here. These are my words, but we talked about this subject in Southwest Believers Convention. In fact, the week's theme this year was voices. It was a lot about hearing from God. And it's so funny that I got some revelation on hearing from God. So, I'm just going to read to you this one more time and think about it a little more when I read it to you again. I'm not going to make any notes or any comments, just listen. So, Hebrews 4:7 NLT. Today, when you hear His voice, don't harden your hearts. We often think God is not talking to us, but it's only because we've hardened our hearts to what He has to say. It's not because He's not talking. He's always talking. It's because we're not listening. It's often because we don't want to hear what He has to say because it's too uncomfortable. So we harden our hearts and pretend it's not there. As much as we may want Him to say something else at times, God doesn't change His mind, and He knows what's good for us and what we'll be happy doing, even if we don't think so and it doesn't feel comfortable. If it feels comfortable, possible, and or easy, you may want to reconsider. This is why we need faith. This is why we need to believe. This is why we need to obey. If we don't, we're going the opposite direction. Yeah, it's hard. God cares about our feelings, but we can't go by our feelings all the time because a lot of times what God tells us isn't going to feel comfortable, it isn't going to feel possible, and it's not going to feel easy. And I hate to break it to you, but if it feels like that, it's probably God. If it feels comfortable, possible, and or easy, it's not God. It's probably not God. And I don't know if I said that right just now, but if it feels comfortable, possible, and or easy, it's probably not God. But if it doesn't feel comfortable, it doesn't feel possible, it doesn't feel easy, if it feels uncomfortable, if it feels impossible, if it feels really hard, it probably is God. And you know why? Because that requires faith. So I think that's all I want to read to you, but I feel like maybe, so I think I'll read to you like a little more on how to hear from God. So, unbelief and disobedience kept the Israelites out of the promised land, which was their place of rest. So how do we enter our places of rest? We must simply trust God and obey His voice to enter our places of rest. But how do you come to that place of trust and obedience? Because it's hard to just trust God and obey Him. So how do we come to that place of trust and obedience? By getting to know Him. By getting to know your Father. So how do we get to know the Father? By spending time fellowshipping with Him in prayer and in the Word. That is the labor that will bring you into His rest. So if you want to come into His rest, if you want to hear from Him, spend time with Him. Spend time with Him in the Word. Spend time in prayer and spend time with Him. Spend time with Him in prayer and in the Word. If you want to come to a place of rest and you want to hear from Him, you need to spend time with Him. Where do you spend that time with Him? How do you spend that time with Him? You spend that time with Him praying and in the Word. So really, the instructions are really simple. If you feel like, oh my goodness, it's such a complicated process, how do I hear from the Lord? He's not talking to me, He must not exist. Well, the way you hear from the Lord is just reading His Word. Don't go into it with anything. Just simply read His Word. Don't reason in your head, oh, this isn't going to work, or, oh, this is going to work. If you're thinking, oh, this isn't going to work, don't worry about it. Just read it, and He'll begin to reveal Himself to you. In fact, John 14:21 says this, "The one who has my commands and keeps them is the one who loves me. And the one who loves me will be loved by my Father. I also will love him and will reveal myself to him." So if you love Jesus or you want to love Jesus, He'll reveal Himself to you. He's not mean. He's not going to withhold Himself from you if you want to know more about Him. And if it feels like He has been withholding Himself from you, and it feels like He's not there, even though you want to know more about Him, then you just need to read His Word, and He will reveal Himself to you. You just need to pursue Him and persist, and He will reveal Himself to you. Sometimes it's like sometimes you have to pray and read His Word to figure out what's blocking you from hearing from Him. For example, I've had a hard time lately feeling like He's not talking to me, feeling like He's not there, and having a hard time hearing from Him and feeling like He's not listening to me. And the reason why I feel like He told me, or I feel like I figured out why I couldn't hear from Him, is just because of disbelief and doubt. And I was just feeling mad and angry and upset and like, why, God, why? And it's not that He's not merciful, and it's not that He's withholding it from you. It's just that doubt and unbelief gets in the way of your connection to Him. If you have doubt and unbelief, it gets in the way of that. And it's not because He doesn't love you. It's just because that doubt and unbelief is in the way. So you need to remove that doubt and unbelief. How? By reading the Word, by spending time with Him in prayer and in the Word. And that may like seem like, oh, but I don't want to, or I've been doing that. Well, if you've been doing that, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep believing in Him. And I think it takes faith to have faith. Sometimes it just takes faith to have faith. You just gotta keep reading the Word, gotta keep persisting, gotta keep pursuing Him, no matter how you feel. God cares about our feelings, but sometimes we have to put our feelings in the proper place. Sometimes God cares about our feelings, but we don't want our feelings to override us and take control of us to where we just completely quit. Sometimes if we feel like He doesn't exist, or we feel like He's not there, which this has been me lately. If we feel like that, we need to put our feelings in the proper place and keep trying and keep pursuing. We can't just quit. If we feel like that, we need to just keep trying. Just try again. Try. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Try, give. Give it another chance. Try, give. Try again. Give it another chance. If you feel like He's not been talking to you, you feel like you just can't hear from Him, you feel like He's not there for you, you feel like He doesn't care about you, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Keep pursuing Him. Keep chasing after Him. I promise you from my own experience, if you keep pursuing Him and you keep chasing after Him, if you're a man or a woman or a boy or a girl after God's own heart, like David was in the Bible, He will reveal Himself to you. Because if you're a man or a woman or a boy or a girl after God's own heart, that means you love Him, and that means He will reveal Himself to you. With that in mind, I'm going to read this verse to you one more time because this is the perfect verse for that. John 14:21. The one who has my commands and keeps them is the one who loves me, and the one who loves me will be loved by my Father. That's a promise. The one who loves me will be loved by my Father. I also will love him and will reveal myself to him. If you love Him, He will reveal Himself to you. If you love Him, it doesn't feel like He's there. It doesn't feel like He exists. Keep pursuing Him. Keep running after Him. Keep chasing after Him. Don't quit. Don't quit. Keep persevering. He is there, and He's waiting for you. But you know what's going to get rid of that doubt and unbelief? You know how I said doubt and unbelief is what keeps you from your connection to God, from hearing from God, is the way you get rid of that doubt and unbelief is by pursuing Him. Even if you don't feel like you believe, even if you don't feel like you believe in Him, keep pursuing, keep chasing after Him, and He will reveal Himself to you, because He reveals Himself to those who love Him. So I hope that encouraged you today. I kind of encouraged myself, got myself all happy here. So just ending, I'm going to close this. If you feel like you haven't been hearing from God, and I know I already said this, but I just want to sum up. If you feel like you haven't been hearing from God, but you feel like it's because He's not there, it feels like He's not there for you, it feels like He's not listening to you, it feels like He's not talking to you even though you've begged Him and asked Him so many times. If it feels like that, I want to encourage you that He is there, and he's really sad right now because there's a block of doubt and unbelief that you need to get rid of. And the way you get rid of that is reading the Bible and praying and pursuing Him and persisting and persevering. Pray, pursue, persist, persevere. That's pretty good. So, pray, persist, pursue, persevere. Do not give up. Do not quit. You persevere, you pursue, you persist, you pray. He will reveal Himself to you because He reveals Himself to those who love Him. So, if you feel like you haven't been hearing from God because He's not there, and you feel like He doesn't care about you, and you feel like He doesn't love you, and you feel like He just doesn't exist, keep pursuing, keep persevering, keep praying, keep persisting, and I promise He will reveal Himself to you. If you persist, you pursue, you pray, you persevere, that will remove that doubt and unbelief that's blocking your connection to Him. And once you remove that, then the signal's there and then you can hear from Him. But if the rock of doubt and unbelief is in the way, there's no way you can hear from Him because it's blocking the signal. So, read the Word, pray, persist, persevere, pray, and pursue him. And that will remove the rock of doubt and belief, and I promise you, from my experience, you will be able to hear from him. That's all I have to say. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope that really encouraged you. And I encourage you, like right now, when I press the stop button, and once you stop watching this video, go straight to your Bible. And if you don't have a Bible yet, go straight to your phone. And if you don't have a phone, pray and go get yourself a Bible. And you can get an Old Testament and a New Testament from the dollar store. Yeah, like if you only have $2. He will bless you if you only have $2. He will bless you with money if you go spend those $2 on an Old Testament booklet and a New Testament booklet from the dollar store. I promise you. Okay, so right now, go read the Bible, go pursue him, go persist, pray, persevere, and pursue, and that will remove your rock of doubt and unbelief, and that will make a connection to you and God again, and he'll be able to talk to you, and he's going to be so excited about it. I can't even tell you. And I am so excited because I figured that out because I'm having a hard time with that lately. Okay, so pursue him, persevere, persist, pray. I just love that so much. I'm sorry, I keep repeating it. Go read the word. That will, if you pursue, that will remove the rock of doubt and unbelief, and you will be able to hear from him, and he will be so excited. So go make him happy, and you'll make himself happy. Okay, I love you, and I can't wait to see you next time, and have a wonderful day on this beautiful rainy day. It's so cozy inside. I'm going to go have a cup of coffee. Okay, love you. Bye.